Here we are in tomato bed number 3, and I do have all my beds numbered, so I kind of know what they are, but only my husband and I know the numbers. Anyway, this one has medium reds and millionaires. Now, medium reds are actually tomatoes. I personally have been saving these seeds for 25 years. Now, I call them medium reds because in the beginning, I didn't realize how important it was to know the name. I really can tell you, and that you'll probably notice that's why one of the reasons they're my favorites. They're really a Rutgers. I've determined over the years just by comparing leaves and tomatoes, but since I didn't officially get that, I can't say that. So they're just medium reds, and that's exactly what they are. They're just like a medium red tomato, but they are delicious and they are so reliable. Now you'll notice compared to some of the other beds, these plants, some of them are a lot smaller, and that's only because this year I tried a different approach. I staggered how I started my tomatoes, so these guys didn't get started as quickly. Anyway, but you can see they have tomatoes on them, lots of blooms. They're just gonna be great tomatoes. And I use these not only for eating, but these are absolutely awesome when I'm canning and cooking things. I have diced tomatoes. All the years when you have to buy your tomato products, I haven't bought tomato products in 20 years. During COVID, when everybody was having trouble finding tomato products, my friends would call and say, "Hey, Kim, do you have any diced tomatoes?" Well, I do. And I was happy to share them with them. Or, "Oh my gosh, there's a limit. I can only buy 1 can of tomato sauce." I've got it, no problem. And that's another blessing. You get to share when people need it. Anyway, remember I talked to you about companion planting? Right here is basil. And it is absolutely wonderful to go with tomatoes. They are super friends. And I use a lot of basil, but again, I have them in all my beds. I can't use that much basil, but I dry all my herbs. I have several different herb patches. I dry these. And so when you go to the store and you have to buy that small little jar of basil or anything, you're paying $5 or $6. I'm paying nothing. And it's fresh. It's organic. I know there's no preservatives. I know nothing bad in there. I know what I'm saving. Okay, let's go down. Oh, and this is another reason I can tell you, I think they're Rutgers because they're clumping like those Rutgers did. There's 3 tomatoes right there. Okay, now this is a variety that I started 2 years ago. They're called Millionaires. They're great looking plants, but they're a little bit later in the season to give you fruit. Those 2 down at the end, and you can't tell when I grew them inside this year, they were almost 4 feet tall. So it took 3 of us to transplant these tomatoes. A little lesson I have to learn. Maybe start those before I do the medium reds next year. So the medium reds are a little bit bigger and the millionaires aren't quite as big. But anyway, you'll also notice their blooms, they're a little bit bigger flower. I know it's kind of hard to tell a difference, but you can tell the different tomatoes, not only by the smell, by the way the leaf looks and by the way the tomato is, but you can tell they're different varieties. At the end of this bed, you saw the basil. On the next bed, I'll show you, I also have rosemary. So I switch each year. Some years I put basil down there, some down there, but that's neither here nor there. All right, that's the end of this bed. I'll talk to you soon. God bless. Bye.